the previous prophets regarding their theology.
Okay. Can you substantiate that?
Yeah, so when we look at the previous scriptures, when we look at the gospel, we look at the Torah, we see that one, Jesus teaches things, Moses teaches things that directly go against the core doctrine of Islam. One of them being that Jesus is the Son of God who the Father sent into the world to save mankind from their sins by his blood and stuff like that. So I think that that is a direct contradiction to Islamic theology, obviously.
Okay. Can we take them one by one?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So when you say Son of God, can you define what you mean by that?
Well, in Jesus' sense, he's the begotten Son of God. He comes forth from the Father's substance.
Okay. Is David not also called the begotten Son of God in the Psalms?
No, that's a messianic prophecy.
It's a messianic prophecy. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would disagree that that's referring to David?
Correct, because David is just like, so you'll have a lot of quite a few messianic prophecies where David in the psalm is speaking in the first person, but it's not about him, it's about the Messiah.
Okay, and can you substantiate that?
Yeah. So we have an example in Acts. Let me pull this up real quick. In Acts chapter 2. I'm just pulling it up real quick.
I got the Bible right here with me too. I don't know what translation you prefer. I got the King James version if that's okay with you, but we can bring it up together.
Yeah, that works. I don't usually use the King James because I don't speak
No problem.
that type of
I got
archaic
laptop
English.
too. I'll go to whatever version you want to use.
For sure. King James is fine. I'm just, sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to understand.
Yeah. All right. So Acts chapter 2, and we go to, so Acts chapter 2 is quoting Psalm 16. And let me just get that exact reference up as well. Okay.
You said Acts chapter 2, verse what?
I'm going to start at verse 25.
All right. Acts 2:25. You can go ahead and start reading if you want to.
Sure. So it says, for David says concerning him, right? Concerning Jesus. I saw the Lord always before me, for he is at my right hand that I may not be shaken. Therefore my heart was glad and my tongue rejoiced. My flesh also will dwell in hope, for you will not abandon my soul to Hades or let your Holy One see corruption. You have made known to me the paths of life. You will make me full of gladness with your presence. So this is quoting, I believe it's Psalm 16, where David is speaking Psalm 16, starting at verse 9, where David's speaking in the first person. Really, he's not talking about himself. He's actually talking about Jesus. It's messianic.
Yeah. So, and you're taking it from Acts, right?
Yeah, this is Peter speaking directly.
Right. And so, and this would already be being generous enough to assume that whoever the author of Acts is, which it's widely believed to be the same author of Luke, knew what they were talking about, or was being honest, or was actually reporting, accurate historical events that they either witnessed or heard secondhand. But I'm not even aware of any evidence of that, so I'm under no obligation to accept it, even if your interpretation is correct.
Well, that's fine. You can say that, of course, but if we're going from the biblical standpoint, according to the Bible, we see this consistency that David, being a prophet, is prophesying, and even when he speaks in the first person, we see it's actually not about him, but it's actually foretelling the Messiah and the words of the Messiah. And so, now, when it comes to the theology of Jesus, going back to that, him teaching that he's the Son of God, the begotten Son of God. It doesn't matter in what sense he's the Son of God, that he came to give his life as a ransom for many, that it's through his blood that forgiveness of sins is access, you have access to that, goes directly against what Islam teaches.
Well, you're assuming again that I have to accept that standard, which I'm again under no obligation to until you can substantiate it. But again, there's actually a few things that are interesting to me regarding the whole atonement thing. Is that the author, like we just mentioned, the author of Acts, which is widely believed to be the same author of Luke. Something that I find interesting is that you would agree that the Gospel of Luke is most likely written earlier than the Gospel of John, which has the highest Christology out of all of them.
I would agree that Luke is earlier than John. I do not agree that John has the highest Christology.
You don't.
Nah, I would argue Mark is probably just a notch above John.
Okay, we could talk about that in a minute. No problem.
For sure, for sure.
Something that's interesting to me is that I'm not John, because John is not one of the synoptic gospels, but Mark, Matthew, and Luke, they oftentimes narrate the same things, but with slightly different wording. Sometimes the wording is the exact same. But in Luke, for example, a lot of these different narrations that talk about, that have atonement language, or where in Matthew and Mark, Jesus seems to indicate some type of vicarious atonement, this language is largely removed from the Gospel of Luke when it's narrating those exact same events. So, I just thought that was an interesting thing to bring up. But it seems to me that the author of the Gospel of Luke doesn't believe in atonement the same way that you do, because it's almost as if he intentionally removes it.
So you have Luke chapter 24.
I'm aware of the blood of one will be poured out for many in these things, but that's not the same.
Yeah.
That's not as explicit. That doesn't necessarily have to mean what you're saying it means.
Well, to say that that's not explicit is wild, because it literally is. He literally says there's two places that I.
Well, he
that I
says
can
the
think
blood of
that's
one will be
explicit.
poured out for many, but he's speaking in the third person when he says it.
Oh no, he's talking about himself. Watch.
Well, you can.
So,
I know. Go ahead. I'm going to let you go ahead. Go ahead. I'll respond to that.
Okay. So we have a couple passages. So we have obviously the Lord's Supper, which is in Luke 22. I think
That's what I just quoted, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you was referring to. Yeah.
All right. Let me go ahead and pull that up too. Okay.
All right. So you have Luke 22.
Luke 22,
reading
what?
verse 20 and 21. Or verse 20.
All right, go ahead. I'm pulling it up.
Verse 19 and 20. Okay.
Verse 19 and 20, you said?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do Luke 22, 19 to 20.
Go ahead, start reading.
And then I'm gonna also do Luke 24.
Yeah.
44 to 46.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So Luke 22, verse 19, it says, "And he took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, 'This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me.'
Yeah.
And likewise, the cup after they had eaten, saying, 'This cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood.'"
You know what's funny?
Right? What?
The phrase poured out for you doesn't appear in the earliest manuscripts.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does. Now you do have you do have a textual variant here, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't. It still shows up. So
Okay. All right. That's
still there.
You want to say that? You can say that. So let's actually go to the Greek and let's read the earliest manuscripts. Give me one moment.
brother, bringing up a textual variant is not a defeater to the verse.
No, I'm never claimed it was a defeater, but I said, what's funny is that it doesn't appear in. You heard what I said.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with textual variants. There's textual variants in the Quran. The only time it's an issue is when they're contradictory.
Okay, that's good to know.
Well, I'm sure you knew that already. You like to bring it up a lot.
That is true. It's good to know that you're honest about it, is what really I was saying. Because
it's not for us, it's not really an issue for us because the Prophet literally said that the Quran was revealed in 7 different ways, so it's not really an issue for us.
It's only an issue for those who have been going on for years saying that there is no difference at all, word for word, letter for letter.
Correct. That's I don't know where this came from, but I've never been I've never been heard on the internet saying that.
Good. That's good.
All right. Let's go. Let me get there. All right, 22. All right. And then if you look, there is a footnote.
Yep.
Some manuscripts do not have given for you, poured out for you.
Yeah. and
So
some do.
so you're claiming that this was added or this was taken out? Which one are you claiming? Because either way
I'm
is
not. No, I'm claiming. Well, what I would be saying is that if there are some manuscripts that do not have this rendition of the verse, then it would just not have survived in those manuscripts. That doesn't mean it wasn't there.
it wouldn't have survived in those manuscripts.
Yeah.
So
So the
are you
fact that we
claiming that
have it,
are you claiming that this is present in the Codex Sinaiticus?
we can check. I didn't claim that. We can check though.
Okay, because I'm sure you're familiar with that at least. 'Cause that's the earliest full manuscript.
I don't memorize it. That's the earliest completed copy. That's not
That's what I
the
said. I
earliest
said it's the
copy.
earliest full copy. That's what I said.
Yeah. Yeah. So like meaning a codex is our earliest codex.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like our earliest manuscript of Luke or whatever.
All right. Let's. Oh, accidentally put Luke 33. One second. All right. Oldest manuscript of Luke 22 is Papyrus 75. So let's let me see if I can pull up an actual transcript of that.
So in so the verse does exist there in the Codex Sinaiticus.
And the Codex Sinaiticus. Okay, no problem. All right, so I'm trying to go to the Papyrus 25, since that's the earliest manuscript of Luke 22. All right. Yeah, so there's a potential that that entire verse is absent because it's not even a full manuscript of Luke 22.
Right, we have fragments of it.
Yeah, it's
So it
like
could be-
three
it-
pieces of a paper.
Yeah, so it could be absent in like as the footnote says, absent in some manuscripts, there in others.
So you at least, at the very least, you admit that you have no way of knowing whether or not that wording is present in the oldest manuscript.
We do because we have the manuscripts here that are recorded. That's the tradition we have.
No, I'm saying we just both agreed that the oldest piece of Luke 22 period is Papyrus 75, and that's not even the entire chapter.
Correct. So it's not contradicting what we have.
No. I'm. That's not what I'm saying. I'm asking you: are you willing to admit that you have no way of knowing whether or not that word is even in the oldest manuscript, while at the same time there are manuscript variants where some include that and some don't? Do you
And
admit
no,
that?
so what I'm saying is that because we have this in our manuscripts and we have it in, I guess it looks like the majority of our manuscripts and our manuscript tradition pertains
That's fine. That's
I would conclude. I'm just saying that I have more reason to conclude that this is original to the text. I have no reason to doubt it.
Well, that's fine because pericope adulterae is also in the majority of manuscripts of John, but it's not in the oldest, so that doesn't really have.
What is that? Is that the adulterous woman?
Yeah.
You're saying that that's in the majority
Yes,
of
it
the
is.
manuscripts?
Yes, it is. But that doesn't
we would have to
really
look at that
matter.
later.
Huh?
Because I don't think because we have a strong tradition of verse 20, Luke 22 verse 20 in the early manuscripts. We have a strong tradition. We don't have a strong tradition for the adulterous woman verses.
Well, that's fine. That's not even the point that I'm making. What I'm saying is that you're saying that because of this strong tradition that you're relying on, is that you're concluding that it most likely was in the oldest manuscript in Luke. Is that your position?
Yeah.
So it most likely was, but you don't have any way of proving it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I don't think we can prove things without a shadow of a doubt. We just follow where the evidence leads, you know? So I think the evidence points to
But
the
I would disagree that Cora. 1 second, please. Someone asked me to rise you. I don't want us to both jump on him at the same time. I don't think that's fair since there's only one of him and there's two of us. So let's not both jump on him at the same time. When he wants to talk to you, he can say that. I'll back off if he feels like he wants to talk to you. But I'm letting her up here for a second. Anyways, my point that I was making. Sorry, I got sidetracked. My whole point that I was making is, Cora, did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, I heard you. Okay, don't worry.
Okay. Jazakallah khair. 1 second. Salaam alaikum, by the way.
Walaikum salam.
Anyways, what I was saying is that you're saying that you're relying on this strong tradition that you're claiming exists for the wording that you just basically said is the blood is poured out for you in Luke 22. My question is that based on Papyrus 75, which is not an entire copy of Luke chapter 22, it's very little of Luke chapter 22. My point is that you have no way of definitively concluding that it actually does exist in the oldest manuscript of Luke 22.
Yeah, like I said, I would disagree with that. Now, when we're talking about definitively knowing, if you mean by we have absolute beyond shot of a doubt proof type stuff, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that the evidence points to this being original to the text, and so we definitely know that. We see this because we have the strong tradition now.
And so,
hold on, really quick,
go ahead.
Because we're kind of getting super sidetracked off the main point that we were talking about.
Well, I disagree. I disagree because my whole thing was I don't even have to accept your position in the first place. That was my whole point.
But would you agree? You would agree that this is an explicit text in Luke where where Jesus is teaching, like atonement through his blood, correct?
No, not the same way that you believe in. No, but that's even if we accept that the verse was actually there in the beginning, which we haven't even proven yet.
Okay, so you do not agree that when Jesus says this cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood?
No, I don't.
Not teaching blood atonement.
No, I don't, because we have later events where Jesus seems to pray not to even be crucified at all. So that's a completely different subject. No,
what does that have
it's
to do
not.
with this?
It's
okay.
Related
So what does that have to do with the statement here?
Because you're saying that this is explicit wording of him predicting being crucified and the blood that's spilled from his body being poured out over everyone. But my point that I'm making is I disagree with that interpretation because we have later incidents where Jesus prayed for that not to take place.
Okay.
So this is you understand what I'm saying?
I got you. So here's my question, okay?
Yeah.
So my question is, what does it mean when he says this cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood? What does he mean by that?
Again, I'm saying that it's not clear what he means. I'm not saying I understand exactly what he was referring to. My point was my thing is that I was arguing against you saying that you know for sure, because we have situations that took place after this where he seemed to pray for the crucifixion to not take place at all. So I guess in return I would ask you that if you're saying this is conclusive evidence that Jesus was claiming, and this is already being generous enough to accept that this was even present in the oldest manuscripts, and on top of that being even more generous to accept that this was even like an accurate historical report. So we're already being very generous with this in the first place. But
that's where evidence leads.
If you feel like you can substantiate that, that's fine. I'm again under no obligation to accept it until you have. But my point that I'm making is just please let me get this out and I'll let you take off. All I'm asking, and when I say that, I don't mean I'm going to kick you off. I'm saying I'll let you.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I just want to be clear so we don't get, all I'm saying is that I'll word it as a question. Never mind. If you're saying that this is explicit evidence of Jesus basically predicting his crucifixion and saying that because of the vicarious atonement, that whole thing, why do we have later examples of Jesus praying for that not to happen? Go ahead.
Okay. So there's two things here. Number one, you have Jesus here that talks about how the cup that is being poured out is his blood for them for the new covenant. And when you look at Old Testament covenant theology, covenants are brought in or signified by blood, whether it's the blood of animal or it's obviously the blood here of the Messiah here. It's always blood is either sprinkled on the altar, blood. So you have here, Jesus is even using priestly language and covenantal language, Old Testament covenantal language in regards to his own blood issuing in the new covenant, which is why this is directly atonement. This is atonement theology. Now, when you ask about Jesus praying for the cup to be removed for him, if it's possible. Now, this is exactly what we see where the prophets prophesy that Jesus will be a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief, and he will be, grieved, greatly grieved, feeling the pressure of the crucifixion, feeling, the depression, the grief of all the people in the sorrows. Yeah. So it shouldn't be a surprise where he has in his humanity a moment of weakness where he says, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. But watch what he says. However, not my will, let your will be done, which was for him, which was for him to shed his blood. So, but even all of this, if we look at this all in context, Jesus is teaching that he is the Son of God who was sent into the world to save the world, which goes against Islamic theology.
Yeah. So number one, I don't have an issue with the fact that Jesus most likely called himself the Son of God. That's not
What?
Oh, you want to run that argument? We could do that if you want to, but let me just finish, please, with the theology.
Okay.
Bro. Like, I didn't interrupt you at all, so please don't do that to me.
No, I'm just, bro. We regular people, man. I react. I'm not trying to interrupt you or be rude.
All right. You
Okay.
good. Just please let me say what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead.
So, as a Muslim, I don't have an issue with the fact that Jesus very likely, actually, historically referred to God as Father, because we see this even in the Old Testament, before Jesus was even here. We see God calling other people his sons. Adam is called the son of God. It's the name Father is not an issue for us. Likewise, I guess Korah spoke to your wife about this, and your wife, never mind. I'm not even going to bring your wife up. I'm going to, just to remain respectful, I'm just going to stay away from that whole thing. But basically, you heard, if you watched the video between Korah and the 1 verses 20, where your wife was present, it's in in Hosea 16. That
Hosea 2
or Hosea 2:16, yeah. In Hosea 2:16, God's you shall no more call me Baali, and you shall today call me Ishi, and I'll remove the names of Baalim from their mouth, and these things like that. And so I'm sure that the response that you're gonna make is that he never allowed that to happen. If you're willing to say that the prophet Isaiah was an idolater, go ahead. But name abrogation has never been an issue for us, title abrogation, because Father is not a proper name, it's a title. So this is not an issue for us at all. When a title of God becomes associated with idolatry, it makes perfect sense for him to abrogate that as an acceptable title for him. So,
Okay.
So you can deal with that. I have one more thing I wanted to say, and then I'll let you deal with it. One more thing. So another thing that I wanted to deal with also is that you said that the prophets predicted Jesus and said he was going to be sorrowful. You know what you just said, he was going to be sorrowful and things like this. I'm not aware of any Old Testament prophecy that explicitly points to Jesus. So if you could show me one, I'd be happy to see it.
Well, this will be amazing because if you're saying that you don't know about any...
Listen, I'm going to go grab my microphone real quick. My phone, and so
I'll wait for you to come back.
I'll be right back. It's going to take less than 30 seconds. Just let me go grab my microphone. Cora, if you have anything to say, go ahead. I'm going to be right back, though. I'm not leaving. Excuse me.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. All right. Well, while he's gone, I wanted to engage with one of the points that you made previously. So you believe that Jesus taught that his crucifixion ended sin sacrifice, correct?
That's not what I said. But what I said was that Jesus taught that he is the Son of God who came into the world to save the world and to give his life as a ransom for it. If you disagree with that part of what I said, then that's what I mentioned.
Exactly, which is his sacrifice putting an end to sin sacrifice, correct?
That's not what I mentioned.
Wait, you don't believe? Wait, so Jesus coming and being a ransom for the world doesn't put an end to sin sacrifice?
It puts an end for the need of any sin sacrifice for your salvation, but that doesn't get rid of the tradition of sacrificing bulls, because we see that they do that even later. Do you disagree, though, that Jesus taught that he's the Son of God who was sent into the world to give his life and pour out his blood for the remission of sins?
All right, perfect. I believe that theology is inconsistent with what the New Testament teaches, especially the teachings of his disciples, for example, James. Right, so you mentioned very briefly that although it put an end to the need of sin sacrifice, this doesn't necessarily eliminate the tradition. Now, let me ask you, were the disciples later practicing sin sacrifice?
Yeah, no. So let me just kind of backtrack here, because I don't feel like you answered the question. I asked, do you believe that Jesus taught that he is the Son of God who was sent into the world to give his life as a ransom, pouring out his blood for the remission of sins? what you responded by saying was, I believe that theology is inconsistent with New Testament theology. So that's not really an answer to the question. So do
Yeah,
you
it is an
believe
answer.
Jesus taught this or no?
No, not in the way that you try to portray it, because the issue is when you make the claim that Jesus taught that he is the Son of God and his sacrifice was a ransom for mankind and that he put an end to the need of sin sacrifice, that is inconsistent with New Testament theology. So unless you want to say that the New Testament is inconsistent, then no, I would not grant that Jesus taught that in the way that you attempt to portray. Now,
Okay.
since I've answered that question,
pause
I won't
there,
wait.
'cause
I wasn't done speaking.
Okay,
So
'cause it sounds like you're
since
about to
I've
move on
answered
to
your
something
question,
else.
wait, no,
No, you
I mean I
didn't,
answered
though.
your question. I said not
No,
in the
you
way
didn't.
that you attempt to portray it, such that
That's not an
Jesus.
answer to my question, Cora.
It is an answer to your question,
So
actually.
look, look. So saying not in the way that you think implies that you do believe he taught this, just not in the way that I frame it.
No, I don't
So,
believe that Jesus taught that. No.
Thank you. So there it is. That's the answer.
Oh,
So the answer is
yeah.
no.
I do not believe that
I
Jesus
got
taught.
you.
Wait, hold on one
I got
moment.
you.
I'm
I
going
got
to
you.
clarify exactly what my answer was.
Okay.
I do not believe that Jesus taught that his sacrifice put an end to sin offering or the necessity of sin offering, which is Christian theology. I do not
cool.
believe that Jesus taught that. And the reason
Okay,
as to
that's not
why
what I
that
asked you.
is for two. Wait, is that not part of what you said?
That's
You
not-
said Son
that's
of
not
God.
what I asked you.
Wait, you said Son of God, ransom for mankind. I said, okay, let's take Christian theology to the fullest. What the
Do you believe he
theology
taught that?
is about no, the theology
Okay, can
of
we get
Jesus.
into
Wait,
that?
hold on. I'm in the middle of speaking. Yes, we can get into that, but we can get into that
Okay.
when I'm done talking. Okay.
Yeah, because it
So,
sounds like you're
the
moving from
point
point
that's
to
being
point,
made.
Cora.
No, I'm not
gotta
moving from
focus.
point to point. I'm answering exhaustively. So the point
No,
that's
I
being
don't.
made
Not everything needs
is
to be
that
said exhaustively. If
Wait,
it's a straight
I'm-
look, if it's a
wait,
short little
obviously
thing,
everything
we got to be
needs
able to
to be-
engage.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to
Okay.
need to engage. And in order for you to engage with my points, I need to flush them out correctly. So
But you're
please
not
listen to
making
the
points.
words that
You're
are saying.
you're trying to
It's a
address my points.
qualification. No, it's a qualification for my answer. Now, my
You don't
answer
have to
is
qualify
that
everything,
Jesus.
Cora.
I'm in the middle of talking. Please just calm down. It's okay. The point that's being made, Logic, is that when we take your theology as a whole pertaining to the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, no, I do not believe that Jesus Christ taught that his sacrifice put an end to the necessity for sin sacrifice, which is reflected
That's a
within your
shift.
Christian theology. Do you
Okay,
agree
no
that
worries.
Christianity teaches that?
That's a shift. I don't
Wait, can
care
you answer
about
the
that right
question?
now.
Do you
Hold on,
agree that
Cora.
wait, can you
Cora,
answer my question?
One second, Cora.
Wait,
Because
can you
what
answer
you're
my
doing, hold on, Cora. What you're doing is shifting the discussion. We can talk about that'll be phase 2.
Can you answer
Phase
the question,
2,
Logic?
hold on, Cora. Hold on, Cora. Now let me be exhaustive, right? Let me be exhaustive. Calm
I mean,
down.
I gave you an answer and then I
hold on.
qualified.
No,
So can I get
but
an
you
answer?
didn't. No, your answer was yes,
I
no,
said
yes,
wait, no. I said no.
So Cora, let me
then I
get it out
qualified.
just like you. Just,
can you
just
answer?
like I let you get it out, Cora.
Go ahead and
get it
answer,
out
okay?
now. I appreciate it. What you did and what you're trying to do is shift the discussion. The discussion isn't about whether or not this is the final end of sin offerings. The question was, do you believe that Jesus taught in the gospel that he is the Son of God that was sent into the world to give his life and pour out his blood for the remission of sins? Your answer is flip-floppy. At first, you're saying not in the way that I think, which implies, yes, you do believe that, but just not in the way that I believe it. But then when I brought that to you, you're saying, no, okay, no, I don't believe that. But then you're flip-flopping it back to your first answer. So before we get to whether or not this ends sin offerings as a whole, let's deal with phase 1. Did he teach this at all? Did Jesus, it's a yes or no. If you don't believe that, we can get into it. Did Jesus teach that he's the Son of God who was sent into the world by his heavenly Father to give his life as a ransom for the remission of sins?
All right,
Yes or no?
beautiful. That's a great question.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to go ahead and flush out exactly what
It's a
that
yes
means
or no.
because it
Answer the
seems we're
question,
going to
please.
have to break down what Christian theology
It's
is
a
for
yes
God
or
logic.
no, Cora, and then you can expound.
Can you
But I want
calm
an
down?
answer.
Oh, I want a yes or no for my question.
Your
Can I get a
question
yes
is
or no for my
segue.
question?
Your question
Wait,
is
hold
off
on. Can I
topic.
get a yes or no for my question?
You will once we get to that topic. I promise.
No, wait,
But
hold on.
first, you
Logic.
gotta
I
focus.
think you have a fundamental misunderstanding of how this conversation
Can
is
you
going
answer
right
the
now.
question, Cora?
So I answer questions when I get my questions answered. So
Cora,
Logic,
can you answer the
instead of
question,
you
please?
interrupt, hey Logic, do you mind not interrupting?
Cora, do you mind answering the question?
Interrupting kind of feels like you're kind of
Cora,
panicked.
do
So
you believe
can you do
that
me a
Jesus
favor?
is the Son of God?
Can you do
that
me
Jesus
a
taught he's the
favor?
Son of God.
Can you
that
do
was
me a
sent into
favor
the
and
world
calm
to give his life as a
down?
ransom?
Why are you
and
so
that belief in
panicked,
him
Logic?
brings
This
remission
is a
of
civilized
sins.
conversation.
Do you believe that
Why
Jesus
are
taught
you
that?
so
Yes
panicked, Logic? What
or
is going
no,
on here?
Cora? Yes or
What
no,
is going
Cora?
on here? Now,
Yes or no,
it
Cora?
seems we're going to have to break down
Do you
Logic's
believe
question.
it, Cora?
So Jesus
Hey, host,
does
if she's not going to
teach.
engage, brother,
Well,
I
I'm
want to get back to our
I'm engaging
conversation.
right now, but you're doing the shift. You're doing the panic.
So what's going on?
And you're
If Cora's
completely and
going to
utterly
shift
not
and
allowing
answer
me
the
to
question
answer.
and not engage what we're on,
Is this guy
I wanna
not going to let
continue
me
talking
answer?
with you,
What's
my
going
brother.
on?
Yo, I got you. Listen, I don't even know. I got up to grab my mic. I came back and I don't even know where the conversation went. Can one of you two, I don't care which one
I
it
can.
is.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell
Yeah.
you right now. So she jumped into the conversation on a misconception of what I was saying. She tried to jump in and address. He said, "Are you saying that Jesus' sacrifice brings an end to sin offering?" Now,
Wait, hold on. One moment.
Now,
sorry.
Isa.
That's
Hold
wait,
on a second.
no.
That's
Sister,
what
I'm going to let you
Cora,
speak. I just want to hear what he
relax,
has to
Cora.
say. And if you disagree,
It's
I'll let you
okay.
tell me.
It's okay. So I went on talking to Cora. I told Cora, well, you'll see the tradition of sin offering still being practiced. However, that's not a necessity anymore for the remission of your sins because Christ is, the sufficient sacrifice. However, that's not what we were talking about. What we were talking about, whether or not Jesus taught that he's the Son of God who was sent into the world to give his life as a ransom, which brings remission of sins through his blood.
So understood. I think I see where you're going. And so
Yeah.
you're saying that she asked a question and that was a segue and that's why you didn't answer it?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Cora. Now,
Okay,
Cora,
perfect. Now, my question was
do you
actually
agree that
perfect
that's
on
what was
point.
taking place?
No, I don't. So
okay.
I'm going to go ahead and break down what happened.
Okay.
So I came on the panel and I asked him a question, right, about his theology and his belief, right? And my question was specifically pertaining to Christian theology when it says that Jesus' sacrifice, and this directly correlates to what you guys were speaking about, because you were talking about the crucifixion. Now, when Jesus on the cross says it is finished, obviously he's referring to the end of sin sacrifice. So it directly correlates to exactly what you guys were talking about, which was the theology that he comes to be a ransom for the sins of mankind and so on and so forth. So my question was perfectly on topic. So I asked him, did Jesus Christ's crucifixion put an end to sin sacrifice, of which he was incapable of responding to? It's as simple as that. So can I get a response to that, Logic?
So
Is
Isa,
that what she asked you? Because I wasn't here.
Yeah, no. So that's not the train of events that happened. She asked that as a segue of our discussion.
Wait, can I get an answer to
Listen,
that?
I hear you. Listen, both of you, please. I hear you. I hear you, bro.
I told her I have no problem going into that, and that's phase two.
Okay. So can you please give her an answer, and then we'll get into that later. But for now, can you just give her an answer, and then you can finish
Okay,
whatever
sure.
it was?
Absolutely, sure. So yes, Jesus' sacrifice puts an end for sin offerings to be necessary for your salvation or remission of your sins. Yes. So we can get into that later once we come.
No.
To that
I
bridge.
think it's necessary to get into that now.
Do you see that, Isa? You see how
It's
she's trying to
extreme-
jump
wait.
in?
Listen,
And now that we have an answer, we should break that down now.
because you two were. Let me just get my words together, because there's a lot that I stepped out to grab my mic for, and it took me a second to find it, and I wasn't even paying attention to what was being said. So I don't want to interrupt on the dialogue that you two are having. to just jump back in, and because I don't. If anyone who watches my live knows that I don't like double teaming people, I don't like ganging up on people. I don't like doing that. So I'm just going to say what I have to say, and then I'm going to back up and let you finish. And whichever one of you leaves first, I'll continue speaking with the one who's left. But all I'm saying is that, I don't necessarily agree that sin sacrifice was ever necessary for the forgiveness of sin, but I'll let you two, if you want to talk about that with me after you're done talking about that with her, that's fine. That's all I wanted to say. You two can finish.
Okay, let me break. Now that I got my answer, I can build off of that.
Hold
That's
on
fair.
a
Wait,
second,
hold on.
Cora.
I
Hold
got
on a
my
second,
answer. Wait,
Cora.
I got you.
Hold
You
on
answered
a
the
second,
question.
Cora. I'm
Now
still
it's my
talking
turn
to
to
the
speak.
host. I'm still talking
Wait,
to
no,
the
the
host.
host just said that he's done
I'm
speaking
still
and he's gonna let
talking
us
to
talk.
the host, please.
Well, the host is not still talking
Hey,
to you,
Issa,
so
man,
how
brother,
about you
look,
engage
you
with
and
the
you and
topic?
I were having a good back and
Yeah,
forth, man.
look, let's
I'm
do
not-
this.
I'm not-
The
Just say
I'm
host
not-
whatever
is
it
no
is.
longer
Listen,
talking to you.
say whatever
so
it is
it's
you
time
want to say
talk.
to me. Say whatever it is you want to say to me. I'm not going to respond to it while you two are talking. You can say what you want to say
Yeah.
to me just so I know what it is you want to say, and then you can continue
Yep.
talking to her. Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay, whatever it is you
well,
want
it
to say, go ahead.
depends. Absolutely. It depends, though. It depends on if I'm going to continue talking with her, if she continues these shenanigans. Because you just said that, hey, Avery, can you give her a quick answer to her question? And then we can get to that later after we deal with the first part. I said, yes, sure, no problem. Based on that, I will answer her question right now. And then we can get there later after we deal with the point that we're on that she's trying so desperately to avoid. So,
Understood.
where we're at,
Understood.
right.
Understood.
So that's the only way I'm going to talk to her. If she engages with phase one, then we can go step by step to phase two to what she's trying to bring up. No problem.
Cora,
Okay,
correct me if
what's
I'm wrong.
interesting though? Wait, hold
Correct
on.
me
what's
if I'm wrong, Cora. I don't mean to interrupt you. Is it that you feel as if that his answer to the question is like part of your response, and that's why you want to address it now?
His answer to the question, what's interesting is he keeps saying phase two, phase two. To me, this kind of just feels like a running tactic because this is perfectly on topic to exactly what you guys were speaking about previously, which was whether or not Jesus taught, one, that he was the Son of God, two, that he was going to come and be a ransom for the sins of mankind, and that entails putting an end to sin sacrifice, because that's exactly what he said he was going to
Issa,
do.
is that what we're
So
talking
that's
about?
not phase two, that's phase now.
Sacrifice, Issa?
Wait, that's
Tell her
not
the
phase
truth.
two, that's phase now, because it's a
Issa,
necessary
were we
entailment for the
talking
theology
about
that you
whether or
guys
not
were
Jesus
speaking
puts
about.
an end to
Can
sin
you do me a
sacrifice?
favor and stop interrupting
Can you
me in
tell
the
her?
middle of speaking logic? Stop freaking out. Why are
Issa,
you
you can bring
panicking? Stop
clarity
appealing
to
to
the
the host who said he's
conversation.
no longer
She's
speaking to you.
confused.
No one can hear anyone right now. I'm sure both of you are aware of this. No one can hear anyone.
Just saying, you can bring clarity, Issa, because she's
Okay.
confused about the conversation we were having. Bring clarity. help her.
I understand that you think she's confused about what was happening, but I'm going to say what me and you were talking about, and then I'm just going to have to give my opinion on something because I think I'm noticing something taking place here. So me and you were talking about whether or not Jesus was even. So we were talking because I brought up the fact that Luke seems to heavily soften atonement language where the other gospels use it. Yeah, nice gift, whoever just sent that. I brought up that it seems that Luke seems to heavily soften atonement language whenever the author is narrating the same event that takes place in other gospels where the atonement language is a lot more clear. So that's what we were
to
talking about
summarize,
initially.
you and I were talking about whether or not Jesus taught whether or not he came for atonement, right? That's what we were talking about, correct?
Not exactly, because I was only referring to the Gospel of Luke.
Bro.
No, please, bro. We've been respectful to each other. Please don't do that now.
Wait, host,
we
I'm
gotta
sorry.
we gotta
I
be
think that this
honest.
guy is truly just being
Wait,
disingenuous.
So hold on, Issa.
Listen, you're
so
being
we were not,
disingenuous
so we
to
were
the
not
host.
talking about whether or not
You're-
Jesus
Oh
teaches
my goodness.
that he came to give his life
Host,
as an
if you don't
atonement for
mind, can I
sin.
just engage with this guy
In
because he's not
Luke,
going to stop.
that's not what we were talking
You
about.
He's not
mentioned
gonna
here.
stop.
I'm going to answer what you just asked, God Logic, and then I'm done talking until one of you two leaves. I'm not going to kick either one of you. I give you my word. Wallahi, I'm not. What we were talking about was you came up. The prompt said, "Christians, why aren't you Muslim?"
Brother, that's
and
not
you're.
the issue, my gosh.
Let me explain, bro. I'm gonna say what we were talking about.
Time.
Dude, just calm down. I'm gonna say what we were talking. I'm not even here to interrupt in your conversation. You asked me what we were talking about so I could clarify. That's what I'm doing. You came up and you said that one of the first reason you gave is that Jesus seems to have, or that Islam has a theology that's contradictory with the prophets of the Old Testament and Jesus. And then you brought up atonement, and we were talking about manuscript traditions in Luke and manuscript traditions in John, and then I brought up the fact that it seems that the Gospel of Luke seems to heavily soften atonement language, whereas the other ones don't. And then that's the point, basically, where she came into the conversation while we were talking
Nope,
about
that's
that.
not where she came in. No, sir.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
Issa,
No,
this
no.
is why this is like
No,
this is
no, no,
dragging.
wait, hold
This
on.
is like
One
wasting my
moment,
time.
one moment, one moment.
Issa, you and I were talking about.
No, no,
and
no,
if
no,
you're,
no,
if
no.
you're not going to be
Logic.
honest
I'm
about
gonna
this,
be
man,
honest with you.
like, this is
You're doing
disappointing.
too much of
And now
appealing
she's
to the
and now
host.
she's trying to overtalk.
This is
I'm
genuinely
that-
just
so-
disingenuous.
Issa,
Go ahead.
you and I were talking very
Host,
clearly.
I'm sorry. In the
about
nicest way
whether or
possible, this
not
guy's gonna have to engage
Jesus
right now.
teaches
This
whether
guy's gonna
or
have to
not
engage with
he
the substance
came
right now,
into
because this
the
is getting
world
embarrassing.
As an atonement
This is
for
genuinely getting
sacrifices and a
embarrassing.
remission for
Okay,
sins.
okay.
Host,
Whatever-
I haven't been
okay,
able to
here, I'm
get
just gonna
a
do
word
this.
out because he keeps appealing to you, host.
Issa,
It's
is that
embarrassing.
correct? Is that
I'm
what
just
we were
gonna do
talking about?
this.
Truly. So,
I'm just
host,
gonna
if you
do
don't
this.
mind, can we just jump into the dialogue?
Issa,
Go
is that
ahead.
what we
Go
were
ahead.
talking about?
All right,
Go ahead.
perfect.
Go ahead. I
All
didn't
right,
even
thank
hear
you
what
so
you
much,
said. I
host.
didn't even hear what you said, bro. But go
All right,
ahead.
I'm
You
gonna
two
say
get
it
to the
again.
All right,
dialogue.
thank
Where
you so
you
much,
and I
host.
not
Thank you so
talking
much.
about
No,
whether
no,
or
he's
not
done
Jesus
speaking to you,
taught
Logic. You're gonna
that
have to
he
engage with this.
came
I know
to
you don't want
give
to
his
engage
life
with the
as a
substance,
ransom.
but Logic, he's done
Can you
talking
answer the
to
question?
you. So you're gonna have to engage with the substance. So Logic,
Issa,
you
if you-
agree
if-
he's not
Issa,
speaking
this is
to you, so
sad
stop
what you're allowing
running.
to happen on your platform.
Stop
man.
running, Logic.
You're
Can
muting
you
up
answer
when
the
your
question
sister
now?
Cora doesn't
Wait,
even know
hold
what's
on.
going
Now
on
that
in the
you wait, hold on.
conversation.
Can you answer the question now? Did the
So
disciples
Cora, what you're gonna
stop
do is you're gonna answer the
performing
question.
sin sacrifice
The only
after
time,
the crucifixion
Cora,
of Jesus
that you're
Christ?
going to get anything in this
Did the
conversation is if you
disciples
engage.
stop
trying to skip
performing
to phase
sin
2
sacrifice
and answer
after the
phase 1.
crucifixion?
What
Logic,
is
you're
your
gonna
actual
have to
answer?
answer the question.
What is your actual
Did
answer?
the disciples
Did Jesus
stop
teach
performing
whether
sin
or not
sacrifice
he
after the
came
crucifixion?
as the Son
Hey,
of
Bud,
God
I'm
into
asking
the
the question,
world
so you're gonna have to give some
his
answers.
life as a
Logic,
ransom?
I'm asking the question,
Did
so you're the
Jesus
one.
teach
This
that,
guy is
Cora?
panicking.
Yes,
What is
Cora,
going on here?
Or no, Cora?
Did the disciples
Yes, Cora,
stop
or no,
performing
Cora?
sin sacrifice
Did Jesus
after the
teach this,
crucifixion?
Cora?
Logic,
Yes
this is so
or no,
embarrassing. Can
Cora?
you not answer simple questions
Yes
about
or
Christian
no,
theology?
Cora?
So
Yes
you
or no,
ran from the
Cora?
Orthodox Muslim, and
Did
now you're running
Jesus
from me in
teach
real time?
that he came
Did the
as the Son
disciples
of God
stop
to give
engaging
his
in
life
sin
as a
sacrifice
ransom
after the crucifixion?
for the
Logic.
remission of
You are
sins?
embarrassing
Yes
yourself right now.
or no,
It's
Cora?
a yes or no.
Yes
Did
or no,
they
Cora?
stop engaging in
Earlier
sin
you said
sacrifice
yes.
after the
Earlier you said
crucifixion?
no.
Logic.
It's a yes,
Stop
no, yes,
panicking
no.
and start answering.
We don't even know
Bud.
what you think about this situation,
Stop
Cora.
panicking and
So
start
what is your
answering.
answer,
Logic.
Cora?
Stop panicking
What is your answer,
and
Cora?
stop answering, man.
Engage then, Cora.
Start.
Engage.
Wait, hold on. Stop
Yeah,
panicking.
start
and
growing
chat.
up
Do you
and
see the way?
engage, Cora.
Do you see the way this
Start
guy is
growing up
absolutely?
and
Yo,
engage,
put a one in the
Cora.
chat if this guy's running, bro.
All right,
Put
that's
a
enough
one in the
then.
chat if this
So
guy is
Issa,
completely
is this what you want your
dodging the
live to do or
question.
what?
One in the chat if this guy's panicked. What is
Well,
this
unmute
guy
your mic,
doing?
Issa, because
What is this
what's
guy's?
happening?
And
or
now
what?
you're
didn't hear
appealing
what you
to the
said.
host. You're embarrassing
Is this
yourself right now.
what's going to go on? Because if this is what's going on, then I could be done. Like, if
Brother,
you, if this is it.
is what's
Yeah,
what's
of
going to
course
go on?
Of course he wants to be done.
What do you
I
mean,
already
what's gonna
answered
go
his
on?
question.
You're
I
both
literally
doing the
said
same
no.
thing to each other.
All
You're
right,
both asking each other questions.
Let me say this very clearly, Issa. You brought up Cora, which I had no problem with. I have no problem engaging
This
with
is
Cora.
so embarrassing.
And
If you're gonna
I
bring-
never
let me
and I
land.
never
Wait,
once.
Issa,
Let
in
me-
the
let me
nicest
finish,
way
bro, what
possible.
I
Wait,
was
hold on,
saying.
Issa.
You
In the
brought up
nicest way
Cora,
possible.
and
Did I
notice how
not
she's already being
answer this guy's
belligerent
question?
and
Wait,
interrupting me.
Logic, look
she
down
has
real quick.
no self-control. She's acting
Logic,
like a
look down
child.
real quick.
She cannot allow people to speak.
Logic,
Okay, I hear
your
what you're
question
trying to
was
say.
answered, so you're gonna have
With
to
you
answer
as
mine.
the host-
Avery, I hear what you're trying to say. I can't hear
All right.
both of you when you're both talking. Can I
So
hear what
can
Cora's
you
trying to say?
moderate?
All right,
Can
thank you.
Can I hear what Cora's trying to? I can't moderate if I
No,
can't hear what's being said.
I'm confused. I was in the middle of talking.
Wait, no.
I was
It's
interrupted
not.
by
It's not
Cora,
time for you to be
and now you're
confused.
trying
It's time
to
for me
give
to
Cora
talk.
the mic to speak.
It's not time for you to be
What?
confused, Logic. It's time for you to talk.
No, Avery. All I said is that you just asked me to moderate. I can't moderate if I can't hear what's being said. First of all,
In the
And
middle of me, look. Let me say what
yes,
I'm
we
about
were
to
having
say.
a conversation.
it's not.
and I
It's
Yeah, bro,
already
not
you don't
time
even
for
hear.
you to
You don't,
speak,
bro.
bro.
Issa,
It's not
for
time for you to
clarity's sake,
speak.
bro, you need to hear what I'm saying, bro. You and I I were having
Wait, hold on.
a good
Arisa,
back and forth.
Arisa,
You brought
peep
up
this,
this
peep this.
troll to interrupt the conversation.
I didn't.
You
Well,
and
please
I-
don't.
this
Please,
poor
look,
guy's
please,
insulting
with the
me.
name
Poor
calling.
guy.
Don't do. Please
You and I
call
were
each other
so
names.
having, you and I
You're
were
getting
having a
aggressive.
good conversation, Issa.
Why are you
And
getting
when we were having
aggressive,
a
Logic? What's
conversation
going
about
on?
something specific,
I
Korah
can't.
Bro,
comes
Risa,
and
this
tries
guy's
to
getting
shift
aggressive
the
and I need to
discussion.
talk.
Avery, I hear
When
your point.
Korah tries to
Avery,
shift the
Avery,
discussion, one second, I'm
Avery.
gonna land my point.
Go
When
ahead,
Korah
please.
tries to come and shift the discussion, and I say, hold on, we can get to that later. First, answer this, which me and Issa was talking about.
All right,
So with
perfect. And
Korah trying to
Risa,
dodge
I
what we
actually
were talking
answered
about,
that question.
nothing
Maybe
is
he
going to
was
happen
so freaked
until
out. Look at this
she's
guy
able to
screaming.
engage with
Why is
point
this guy
number
screaming,
one.
bro? Logic, why
But
are you getting
Avery,
aggressive?
Understand the point?
Avery,
Why
if
is
she,
So
he
we
getting
can't get past
aggressive? What
this.
is going
There is
on?
no discussion. I'd
This
rather talk
guy
to
is
you.
getting panicked
I hear you, and I'm willing
aggressive,
to
bro.
talk to you once your conversation
All right.
with her. Listen, all I'm trying to
I'm
say
done
is,
talking to her. She's a
is
child.
that
I'm done
if
talking
she
to her.
feels like that if she feels like
That's a tap out right there, Risa. Do you see this?
I hear you. Okay, go. Let me just say what I got to say. The core. I'm going to let you speak now because I can't hear what's taking place. All I'm saying is that me and you were having a conversation. I stepped back when I felt like we were at a point where we could pause it, and I wanted to let you two speak. I went to grab my microphone, and that's what I did. I came back, and I didn't even know what was being spoken about when I first sat down because all I heard was a bunch of yelling. So I just let you land your point. So all I'm trying to say, this is what I feel like is taking place, is that if Korah feels as if that a response to the first point is necessary to making her point in the first place, then I feel like that. I mean, she kind of needs that. I mean, if you feel,
I don't care.
Thank you, host. I appreciate that, host, genuinely. And
I'm
what's
done talking to her.
interesting,
If she's
what's
not gonna engage with
interesting is
phase
that
one,
this
I'm
guy
done
is
talking to her.
incapable of engaging because his
you wanna allow her to
question
dodge
is whether
everything.
wait,
I'm not allowing her to dodge.
logic.
I don't feel like
I know
that's
you're
what's
trying to get
happening. All I'm-
aggressive, but that's not what's going to happen. on the fly.
Anybody and their mama can see what's happening.
You're
She's
trying to
dodging
get
phase
you're
one.
getting
She's
pa-
dodging
you're
the question that we
panicking and you're
asked her
getting aggressive,
to
bro.
try to
Calm
shuffle
down.
the conversation somewhere
Logic,
else.
this is
She's
genuinely
trying to do the
embarrassing. Why
Muslim
are you
shuffle,
so
and
panicked,
unfortunately,
bro?
Cora, we don't allow the
Chill,
Muslim
dude,
shuffle
just take a
here.
chill pill. It's
We
okay,
hold
bro.
you to the fire.
Don't dodge
Cora.
and don't run.
Sorry, Cora.
Your
We
point
hold
was
you to the
engaged
fire.
with.
oh my
Host,
god,
can I speak, bro?
Yes,
Host, can I get
Logic,
a word
please
out?
just let her speak. Please just let her
Yeah,
speak.
she can say it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, she can say what she
All right,
wants to say.
perfect.
but
I appreciate it, host.
Issa,
I appreciate
after
it,
she
host.
says this, I'm talking to you. I'm not
I
talking to her.
appreciate it,
It's
host.
Simple as
All
that.
right. No, you're speaking to me. You're not speaking to the host. So what's interesting is that his question was already answered. He asked, did Jesus preach the following theology, that he is the Son of God and that he was going to essentially be his sacrifice was going to be the remission of sins and so on and so forth. And I said, perfect. That is what he's trying to flush out as Christian theology pertaining to sin atonement, as well as his place within reality. Now, I said, no, Jesus does not preach what you believe he preaches about sin atonement, and we were going to build off of that, but unfortunately he was not capable of engaging. So now we're going to have to talk about what Jesus did teach. So Jesus did not teach sin atonement in the way that Christians attempt to portray. And it's very obvious because Jesus, his brother, James, clearly did
he
not
teach it at
believe
all?
that he put, but be quiet, I'm in the middle of talking.
Did he
There's no need to
teach it
panic.
at all?
Don't panic, I'm in the middle of
Stop
talking.
being ambiguous
So the
and
point
answer the
that's
question.
being
Did he
made
teach it at
is
all?
that Jesus does not teach. Why is this guy panicking? This grown man's interrupting me.
Your
This
shuffle
grown
is
man is
embarrassing.
interrupting me. Don't interrupt me, thanks.
Did he teach it at all?
Thank you,
Cora?
Logic. Don't interrupt me. Thank you, Logic. Don't
Answer.
interrupt me.
Stop
Now,
wasting our
what's
time.
interesting is the idea that Jesus' sacrifice put an end to sin sacrifice is not reflected within the theology
Notice
of the
the
New
shift.
Testament
Notice the
because
shift.
Jesus' disciples did not believe it. So let me ask you a question. Logic, why
No,
in
you're not gonna
Acts
ask me
21?
another question.
Wait,
What
hold
you
on,
actually
Logic. It's
answered.
okay. I'm going to ask you the question if you want to
Did
run
he
me through
teach
one.
it at all?
If
Cora?
I'm going to ask you a question, if you want to run
Yes
me through
or
one, that's
no,
not my problem.
Cora?
If you want to
Did he
run, that's not
teach-
my problem.
Did he teach
Why in
that
Acts
he
21
gave his life
does
as a
the
ransom for
brother
the
of
remission of
Jesus,
sins at all,
James, and the
Cora?
disciples
Yes or no?
perform a sin offering
Yes or
after
no,
the
Cora?
crucifixion?
Yes
Why?
or no, Cora?
Why do they perform a sin offering
Yes
after
or
the
no,
crucifixion?
Cora?
Stop speaking over me. Answer the question.
Yes or no, Cora?
Why does James, the brother of Jesus,
And
make Paul do
Cora,
a sin
I'm gonna give you,
offering?
I'm gonna
Do
give
me a
you
favor
one
and
more
stop
chance.
speaking
I'm
over
gonna
me.
give
I'm
you one more
talking.
chance.
Do me
It's
a
either
favor
you
and stop
answer
running and
now
answer the
and
question.
stop dodging like
Do
the
me a
coward you
favor,
are,
stop running
and we
and
continue the
answer the
conversation,
question,
or
Logic.
you prove yourself
Do
to be
me
the
a
coward as
favor and
usual,
stop
and I
running
just
and
continue
answer
with
the question.
Issa.
I'm going to give you one more chance.
According to Luke,
I'm going to
and
give
according to
you
Matthew,
one more
Jesus
chance. Stop
says
being a
that the
coward.
Son of
Stop
Man
being a
came not
coward,
to be
Logic.
served,
Why
but to
does
serve
Jesus,
and
the
to
brother
give
of
his
James,
life as a ransom
wait, hold on.
for
Why does
many.
Jesus, the
So
brother
is that
of
a
James,
yes or a no?
make
does
Paul
Jesus
engage
teach
in a
that
sin
he
offering
came
in Acts
to
21?
give his life as a
Why
ransom, Cora?
does Jesus,
Yes
wait, hold on. Why
or
does the
no?
brother of Jesus, James,
Okay, no
make
answer.
Paul
So
engage in a
Issa,
sin offering
I'm
after the
done talking to
crucifixion?
her. Jump in, my
Logic, why are
brother.
you having a panic attack? Just
I'm done
answer the
talking.
question.
Listen,
Yes
can
or
I
no?
have can I say something, please? Can I say something,
I'm
please?
done talking to her.
This
Okay.
is so
Can I please say
embarrassing.
something,
Can you
Yeah,
just
it is,
engage?
Cora.
Okay.
It is,
This
Cora.
is so embarrassing for
Listen,
logic,
listen,
man.
listen. Both
It
of
is
you,
tough.
both of you,
You'll
both of you,
grow.
please,
You'll
please.
get
It's
better at
hard
this
out here,
little
man.
Both
You're
of you,
struggling,
please
bro.
listen. Both of you, please
Cora, you'll
listen.
get better at this.
You're
sooner.
struggling,
Both of
bro.
you,
So it's
please
okay.
listen.
When you stop running
I'm
from
gonna
me,
ask
You'll get better
both
at
of you
this
a
sooner.
question
when
right
you
now.
stop running from me, you'll feel better.
I'm gonna ask both of you a question right now, and hopefully this can redirect the conversation back to being something productive based on both of your answers.
Hey, Issa, I'm letting you know right now, there's no conversation between me and Cora. I'm talking to you. If you're not going to talk to me, if we're not having a
Yeah,
I
this
discussion,
told you
guy
I'm
is
willing to talk to you.
absolutely
I told you I'm willing to
dodgy,
talk to you.
dude.
But I
okay,
also,
good. So let's talk,
I'm
bro.
not.
Let's continue.
Yeah, but he
I have
also
to
said
s-
he's willing to talk to you after you're done talking
I
to
have
me.
to be able to speak,
So
bro. I have to be
engage.
able to speak.
I'm listening. Cora's talking over you, not
Okay,
me.
I have to. Okay, I'm gonna ask both of you a question. Both of you, don't interrupt me. No one talk over me. Don't address each other while I'm speaking, please. Both of you address me when I ask you a question. Cora, is it your position that you're saying because James and the disciples after the crucifixion were still participating in sin sacrifices? Is this what you're using as evidence that? Are you saying that this is evidence
Yeah.
that
So,
his alleged crucifixion wasn't even a sin
No,
sacrifice at all?
what I'm saying is that if he wants to say that Jesus taught the theology that his sacrifice put an end to sin sacrifice or sin offerings, then he's going to have to call the New Testament inconsistent because the disciples engaged in sin offering after the crucifixion,
I'm
even though
aware of
Jesus
this,
said it was done.
and yes, in Acts, that's I know. So logic. Why I don't understand why there's an issue surrounding this. What's the problem? Because again, I don't think I understand what's wrong with what she's saying. Like why
All
why
right,
can't you engage with that?
I'm going to say it one last time, brother. This will be the last time I explain this. And if after this, you and I don't have a discussion, I'll bounce. Okay? So here's the problem. The problem is that we were not talking about whether or not the remission of sins or the sacrifice Jesus brings is an end to sin offering in general. That's not what we were talking about. Although that is a question that is worthy of asking, that's a different question with a different discussion, which I literally said I have no problem going over. Which in fact, when you said, "Hey Avery, can you just for now just answer her question for now, and then we can get to that later?"
You did. Yes,
and
you
I
did.
said, yes, I answered her question straight away. And with the expectation that we were going to continue from where we left off in the conversation.
Okay, so-
the problem is, let me land it.
Go ahead.
The problem is that Cora is shifting to the discussion to whether or not the remission of sins that Jesus brings puts an end to sin offering in general, or did people practice it later on, versus whether he taught that he, as the Son of God, was sent into the world to give his life as a ransom for many for the remission of sins. Did he teach this at all? And she can't answer this. She flip-flopped
When is
and
this guy gonna stop
refused
waffling,
to give
bro?
a yes or no to this.
Okay,
so
this guy is
So this is
waffling,
why I
dude.
say, Cora, it's okay, Cora.
This is so embarrassing,
so
dude.
Issa,
Okay,
so that's
I
why.
hear. I hear you.
heck?
I've heard both
Let
of
me
you.
let-
I hear.
Good.
Do you have
So
anything
this is
else you
why-
need to add on that point before I say what I'm about to say?
Yep, this just like 15 seconds.
Go ahead.
So this is why I'm hounding her on this point for her to answer the question, which we were talking about. Then we can lead to the other discussion she wants to have. She's
Okay.
dodging it.
Okay, so what? Okay, now I think I understand what's going on. So it seems to me, and again, if I am incorrect about either of your positions, I'm open to being corrected. Please, one at a time. It seems to me that you're saying that she's going back to a point that you said you would address later, but it also seems to me that she feels that that point is a necessary aspect of her argument that's being made in the first conversation. Am I right about
wait,
both
hold
of
on.
your
And
positions?
host, what's interesting is
Yeah.
my point was very clear.
I don't care about her
host.
position.
Wait, one
She's
moment.
dodging.
So my point was very clear, host, right? And even you understood it. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
The point that's being made is that you guys were discussing whether or not Jesus preached that his sacrifice was going to atone for the sins of mankind, essentially the crucifixion theology.
Yeah.
right? As alongside him being the Son of God and things of that nature.
Yep.
My question directly correlates to the topic because we're talking about the topic of the crucifixion. And what does the crucifixion theology teach? That Jesus' sacrifice is going to put an end to sin atonement, sin atonement and sin offerings. So my point is perfectly on topic, and unfortunately logic was incapable of engaging. I asked the question a multitude of different times. Everybody here understood it. And I answered his question very clearly as well. I said, no, Jesus does not teach this crucifixion theology that you attempt to show that he teaches, unless you want to say that the New Testament is inconsistent.
You said
I'm in the middle
not
of,
in the way that
again,
I
he's
believe it.
interrupting. Again, this guy's
Cora, you
interrupting and
why are you lying?
panicked.
You got to let her finish, bro.
Can you do
I had
all
her
of
let
us
you
a
finish.
favor
I
and
had her let you
stop?
finish. Please just let her finish.
Can you do us
Go
all a
ahead.
favor and stop panicking, Logic?
Listen,
Issa,
Avery,
make sure you and I engage
Stop,
after this, bro.
bro. What
Avery,
is
we
this?
can
This guy's
do
doing a
that.
dash,
All I'm
dude.
saying is, Avery, is that you have 3,000 people in here right now. A lot of them are your followers, and I'm sure that they actually are interested in this conversation that's taking place.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Why
I
do
mean,
you think they're not?
I'm sure
My
the 3,000
audience is educated enough to know when there's
wait, hold on,
there's
host. To
somebody
be honest with
belligerent
you,
on the
I
stage.
think the 3,000 people
are
on this
aware
live would
when
love to
someone
hear the question be
has
answered.
no idea how to have a conversation.
This
no
guy
one wants
is
to hear a
actually
belligerent person on stage.
incapable of engaging. This is so embarrassing.
Well, I mean, apparently they
Nice
do because
projection,
they're all
Cora.
still
I'm
here,
sure
and
the
this conversation's
3,000
been
people
taking
in this
place.
live would love to hear. Wait, hold
because we're
on,
waiting on
guys.
you and
One
I
in
to
the chat if you
engage.
guys want Logic to engage.
So we're just still waiting for you and I to engage.
What one in the chat if you guys
Issa.
want Logic to engage with the topic.
I'm done trying to. I'm done debating.
You're not done
Here's-
running.
here's an
because you're
idea.
still doing
Here's
She
an
it.
idea.
ran from the discussion.
You're
Here's an
not done
idea.
running because you're
Here's
still
an
doing
I'm
it.
idea.
done with her.
I
Do
have
you
an
want to
idea.
You're
engage or
not done
Issa?
running because you're still doing
Logic,
it though.
Avery, talk to me, Avery. I have an
I
idea.
am. Do you want to engage or not?
So you could give your argument for whatever it is you want to give that we were talking about after me and you respond, and you feel like that you've have your question sufficiently answered, or I feel like I've had mine answered. Are you willing to continue speaking with her after me and you speak?
As long as she's willing to engage. No problem.
Okay. Now, are you willing to acknowledge that she feels that your response to her question is a necessary aspect of her argument in the first
Oh,
place?
trust me, brother. Trust me, brother. I acknowledge what she's saying. This is why I know what she's doing. I acknowledge what she's saying, which is a complete shuffle and dodge. I acknowledge what she's doing.
But if
Wait,
it's,
we all know
if
she's
it's
doing.
necessary for her
Host, wait,
argument, it's not
wait,
a dodge.
host, I'm
She just
sorry.
has to
Wait.
have
It is
to
a dodge.
clarify.
Host,
It is
wait,
a
host,
dodge.
in the nicest way
What's
possible.
necessary
wait,
for her
hold on,
argument
host,
is for her
host.
to get away from the
In
question.
the nicest way possible,
That's what's
host.
necessary.
Let me ask you a question, host.
So are
Obviously,
you ready?
okay.
No.
Let me
No,
ask
host,
you a
what are we
question.
doing, bro?
okay. Is
are
the
we talking
question
or what?
not perfectly on topic
Are we
with
Your
talking
question,
Jesus' theology?
Are we
yes,
talking
Cora, it
or
is.
what,
Yes, Cora,
Issa?
it
Okay,
is. But I'm
it's
going to
so
speak with
why
Avery.
can't he engage?
Thank you.
You have
So
to
let's
ask him
engage
that.
now.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
okay,
I don't
okay,
know.
Logic. Why aren't you engaging, bro?
Hey, Cora, go
The
ahead and
host
be
agrees
silent.
that it's
I'm gonna talk to
perfectly on
Issa.
topic.
Be silent,
Wait, hold
Cora. I'm
on. The
gonna talk to
host
someone
agrees
who's
that
ready
it's
to talk.
perfectly on topic. So can you engage
Thank
with
you,
the topic,
Cora.
Logic?
Oh, thank you, Cora. Take care of
Are you
yourself.
are you gonna engage with the topic?
Go ahead and be quiet while
Wait, are
while
you,
me and the host
bro,
speak.
host? Can this guy be quiet? Are you gonna engage
What do you
with the
mean?
topic?
You just asked me a question. Now
Wait,
you
are
want
you
me to
gonna
be quiet.
engage with the
What do you
topic?
want? Yes, no.
Wait, are
yes,
you gonna
no,
wait?
again,
Hold on.
Cora.
You're either gonna engage with the topic or you're done.
So, Issa, are you ready to talk?
Are
or
you?
what?
Are you? Okay, so it seems he's not gonna engage.
Well, the thing is that we were talking about basically the same exact thing, so I don't see what you...
Exactly.
Yep. So I'm
Thank you,
gonna
host.
talk to you.
That's
Issa.
a beautiful
and if,
point,
and
host.
if
The
Cora
topic
is ready to
is
stop running
exactly
away
the
and ready
same.
to answer directly,
So wait, hold on. So
she
since
has
the topic
next.
was exactly the same, host, as you
So let's go ahead and get
acknowledged,
into
let's
it,
just
Issa.
engage.
All right, so
wait,
here,
wait.
let's do this.
So
Let me
where we
just hear
left off-
Avery's argument. Let me just
Wait,
hear
hold on,
Avery's
host.
argument.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If he doesn't want to engage right now, then I am
Now,
just gonna
now
drop.
she's trying to take over.
Wait,
So
hold on.
then drop.
If he's
Bye.
not gonna engage, then I'm just gonna.
Bye
drop.
bye. Go ahead and run off.
Is this
Cora,
guy
as
not going to
usual.
engage? Because he's going to keep
Run off
talking
as
over
usual,
me.
Cora.
He's going to keep panicking.
To be fair, Avery, you're both threatening to leave the panel, so I don't think it's fair for... I mean, you're both threatening to leave, so I don't see how you can say...
It's,
well,
it's all
Wait,
good. She
the
can
difference
bounce,
is.
man.
Wait, hold on. You want to know what the difference is, though, host?
You can
he's
bounce,
threatening to
Cora.
leave. Wait, hold on. You know what's so crazy? He's
Bounce.
threatening to leave because he has to engage with me,
Bounce.
and
Take
I'm
care of
threatening to
yourself.
leave because he's
Unless
refusing.
you're able to answer a direct
Wait, that's the
question,
distinction.
bounce.
He's
Take care of
threatening to
yourself,
leave
Cora.
because he has to engage
Salam
with me,
alaikum.
and I'm
Bye-bye.
threatening to leave because he's refusing.
Bye-bye. Salam
Okay,
That's
here,
the
here,
difference between
here.
the
I'm
both
gonna
sides.
try to. I'm gonna
Salam
try to even this out a little
Bye.
bit. I'm gonna try to even this out. Cora, Are you willing to let him finish his argument? Are you willing to, because I know what your point is. I know what your point you're trying to make. It seems like that if you don't answer his question with a yes or no, which he does that a lot, he wants a straight yes or no. It seems
That's
that
right.
but it's not always just a clear yes or no. There's always
This one
context to
is.
things. It, I mean, if you want to say that, there's an argument to be made, but all I'm saying is, it seems as if he's unwilling to continue the conversation unless you answer the most recent question he asked you with a straight yes or no. So are you at very
Okay.
willing?
Well, what's
are you at least?
interesting though, host, is I want to ask you a question. Is this a Muslim
Bro,
panel or is this a Christian
she can't
panel?
even
It's
answer your
a Muslim
question.
panel. I'm a
Wait,
Muslim.
okay, this is obviously a Muslim panel, so Logic is gonna have to learn that he's not able to control
She-
Muslim lives.
No, I'm not
Issa, she-
asking you to let him control it. I'm not
You
asking
get
you
what
to
I
let him
mean?
control it.
She
I'm
can't
trying to
even
keep
answer
it.
your
Regardless
question,
of
Issa.
whether or not, wait, hold on. Regardless of
incapable
whether
of
or
even
not, is
answering
this
you,
guy
Issa.
okay? Why is
Answer
this
him.
guy manifesting yet again?
Yes or no? Are you willing
Can
to
you
answer
can
the
you
question?
do us
Yes or no?
all a favor? Can you do us all
Why
a
can't you
favor?
answer your Muslim brother's
question has
question?
been
Hold on,
answered
Avery. I have
like
to let her.
over
I have to
three
hear what she's
times.
trying to say, bro. Just
This
let me.
Go
guy's
ahead.
question, what's so interesting, this guy's question has been answered like over 3 times. And for some reason, he insists on doing this panicked, nervous laugh,
Okay.
interrupting behavior.
And your answer
It's
to his
so
question was no,
embarrassing.
right?
My answer to the question
you.
is Jesus does not teach the theology pertaining to the crucifixion that Christians attempt to portray that he did.
Do you hear that?
That's
you see
the
how
point.
You see how she qualifies that?
So he
how
did
Christians
not
portray it.
teach.
What's
We're
wrong
not
with her
asking-
qualifying the
Christians such
statement?
as God loves.
Look,
Yeah.
Issa.
Jesus
Look,
does
Issa,
not
it's like
preach
this.
what you guys try to
Look,
show he
Issa,
preaches.
It's like this. It's like this. It's
This
like
is
if
so
I ask you-
laughable. Now
if
that
I
the
ask
question's
you-
been
if I ask
answered,
you,
can he
Issa,
engage?
Does Jesus teach
Wait, hold on,
that God
Arisa.
is
Now
one?
that his question has
And
been,
then you
Bro,
answer
can this
and
guy
say,
get muted or
well,
something? He's manifesting.
Well, I don't believe that
Can
Jesus
this guy get
taught that
muted,
God
bro?
is one in
He's
the way
actually
that you believe
incapable
God
of
is
engaging.
one.
Why is this guy screaming, bro?
Do you see how that's not
I
an
don't
This guy's
think- I don't
wait,
think
I
she'll
wasn't
ever
even
say
done
that to that
talking.
question, to
He's
be fair,
talking
though.
over me. Can he get
Look,
muted?
so Issa, so
Can
here
this
we
guy
have
get
it.
muted?
So
He's
she's
talking
I need
over
one
me.
at a time. I need one at a time. I
Can
need
this
one at
guy
a
get
time.
muted?
Right.
He's talking over
Avery,
me.
Right.
Avery, I've multiple times I've asked her to let you finish. So can you please let her finish really quick, and then I'll hear you
Brother,
too.
she did finish. What are you talking
Wait, hold
about?
on. Wait, no. This guy started,
I started talking, she
laughing and
started talking over
panicking
me.
in the middle of my
What the
answer.
heck?
Literally in the middle of my answer, he starts laughing and panicking.
Bro, I'm
so
confused,
the point
man. What do
that's
you wanna-
being
what do you wanna
made,
do, bro?
the point that's being made is that Jesus
Issa, what do you want to do, man?
does not
I just want you to let her
teach-
finish, and then I'll let you
Yeah.
say what you have to say.
What needs to happen? What he wants you to do is
So,
stop
so
talking
after
over
she
me.
finishes, can you and I
Wait,
engage?
what he wants you to do is stop talking over me. That's what he wants you to do.
After she finishes,
Do you
Issa,
understand
I just want
logic?
clarity. I just want clarity. After she
Wait,
finishes
hold
her
on. Do you
rambling,
understand?
Can you and I continue our conversation?
I have never once said that we can't continue our conversation. What I've been saying is I'm not going to drop either one of you because
No, I don't care about her dropping, bro. I'm asking, once she finishes what she has to say right now, can you and I continue our talk?
Wait,
You
Arisa,
and
I
me.
think it's only fair that since this conversation's not been finished between me and Logic, obviously, it's your live and so on and so forth. But the point is, you agree that my question is perfectly on topic. So why can't you just engage?
To be honest, my point is that you two are carrying on the same conversation that me and him were also carrying on. So I really don't care whether it's me or
Yeah,
you who
so
discusses
then
it.
why isn't he engaging? Because his whole issue was that my question
So, Issa, you
goes
didn't
into
answer me, bro.
I'm in the middle of talking.
are we
Can you
doing?
do me a
I
favor and
I
not
told you
interrupt me?
I don't mind continuing speaking with you, but I'm not going to drop either one of you, regardless of who asked
but
me to.
I'm not
so
asking you, brother. I'm not asking you to drop Cora. I'm asking, once she finishes rambling, can you and I continue our conversation?
again, we can. I never said we couldn't continue our conversation. I
So is that
stepped
a
away.
yes?
Can I finish what I'm saying, please?
I would just like to answer, bro. Like, what's wrong
I'm
with
in
you?
the
Like,
middle of
try to
answering you, bro. I'm in the middle of answering you. Okay? I'm in the middle of answering you. I stepped away to grab my microphone. Apparently, a lot of people in the chat thought that I wasn't actually looking for a microphone. You're a clown. It's in my hand now. Anyways, as I was saying, I stepped away. Another conversation came up. It's largely identical to the conversation that me and you were having. Okay? I didn't bring her up here just for her to sit there and just watch the conversation happen and her not say anything. That's not why I brought her up here. That's not why I bring anyone up here. I do this all the time, every time.
I hear you, Issa.
Okay,
All
so
I'm
what I'm
asking,
saying is that the conversation that
continue
you
after
two
she
are having
finishes?
right now is on the
We're
exact
not
same
having a
topic that me
conversation.
and
Okay,
you were
perfect.
talking about.
So then,
So
Isa, can we
Issa,
just finish
Issa,
engaging
Issa,
then? Okay, wait,
Issa,
Isa,
Cora and I are not
since
having
you
a
agree
conversation.
that the topic
You
is
didn't answer my
practically
question, and now you're allowing her to
identical.
cut me off now.
Wait, hold on, wait.
So
Since
are
you
you
agree that the
refusing to
topic
speak
is
with her further?
practically
You had a whole
identical.
spiel. You had a whole spiel.
Wait, hold on, Isa. Since
So,
he agrees and
Issa,
you agree that the
with
topic
you
is
allowing Cora
practically
now to talk over
identical.
me after you asked me to let her
One
finish.
moment. I
Now
started
this is
speaking
another
before
thing that
you
is
did.
unfair.
I started speaking
My
before you
question,
did.
Issa, is
I
after
started
she
speaking, bro.
finishes
Why is this guy
getting off what
interrupting me? I started
getting it
speaking
off her
before him.
chest.
I don't
Because
know.
Issa, you did
Oh
not
my
answer my
goodness, this
question,
is
bro.
so embarrassing,
My
bro.
question is simple. After
Isa,
she
don't you agree?
finishes
Since
her
the topic
rambling,
is
after
bro,
we
host,
give
if this
her
guy
her little
interrupts
2-minute
again, can you just mute
monologue to
him?
land.
Avery, I'm gonna be
Issa,
here. I'm
Issa,
the same kind
Issa,
of host,
please let me finish answering asking the
and then
question,
I've
brother,
got
'cause you're not
something to say
answering.
after. Okay.
Okay. So look, after it's a simple yes or no, bro. It's yes or no. After she gets her little monologue off, can you and I continue our conversation? Yes or no, bro?
I am willing to continue the conversation, but I'm also not going to mute either one of you.
Right.
I'm not going to drop either one of you, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to force her to be silent because at the end of the
Cool.
day, I'm I'm positive my lives usually don't get more than 800 views. We're at 3,000 right now. So I'm positive that both of you are bringing people into the live. Everyone is getting money from this right now. We're all getting money together, all three of us. So my point is that we're all just, we're all just getting some money right now. But my point that I'm making is that there's also something that I wanted to say, and that the recent debate that you had with Dr. Nasser, you and the host were kind of teaming him, and I feel like I'm being a lot more fair to you.
No,
I feel like, please let me say what I'm saying, and I'm gonna let you speak. I feel like I'm being a lot more fair to you than that host was to him. So I'm not gonna mute anyone. If you're gonna refuse,
I told the host to shut up, Issa.
What?
If you watched that video, I told him to shut up.
I've watched the entire video.
So you saw me telling him to stop jumping in, right?
I don't remember that taking place, but it didn't stop him from jumping in because he continued to do it. If you said it, you said. I'm not saying you didn't say it. I'm saying I don't remember.
He's the host.
Huh?
He's the host. He does what he wants. But I told him multiple times, let me respond. Stop jumping in. Let me answer.
Right.
For some reason,
but
he kept, that wasn't had nothing to do with me.
Yes, but he was also steel manning Dr. Nasser's points for you and all kind of other
That's
stuff.
fine.
It wasn't
That
just
had
about
nothing
him.
to do with me, bro.
Okay, right. So your conversation with her has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
Okay,
so
perfect.
That's why
So then why can't he engage?
When she finishes her monologue, you and
There's
I have
no
our
monologue
conversation,
going on. It's
and
a
then after
monologue
you and I have
wait.
our conversation,
Notice this, Arisa. Notice this,
she
Arisa.
has no self-control.
It's a monologue because
After
he wants
she
it to be a
finishes her
monologue.
monologue, you and I
my
continue our
goodness.
conversation.
Oh
That's all I'm
my
saying.
goodness! What is this guy doing?
So,
Listen,
Cora, go
Arisa,
ahead with your monologue.
Well, what's interesting
Go ahead
is
with
that
your
it's
monologue,
you
with
want
your
to know? Wait, hold on.
shuffling.
Calm
And once
down.
you finish,
Calm
Issa
down,
and I
dude.
are gonna have our
Logic.
conversation.
Calm
Is that
down.
correct,
There's no
Issa?
need to panic, dude.
Issa, is that
We're
what
gonna need you to
confirmation is? Is that
engage.
correct?
I told
We're
you
gonna need you to
after-
engage.
Yes.
us.
I already said
Now,
after.
wait,
I
hold
already
on.
said after your this conversation that you two are having is done, then me and you will continue.
It's
If
done.
she doesn't feel
It's
like
done.
she's done, if she doesn't feel like she's done, that's not my business.
It's done.
Thank you, host.
That's cool.
Thank you.
That's all her.
Okay, thank you, host. Thank you.
She
So
can
what's
talk to herself all she
interesting?
wants.
Hey, bud, don't interrupt me. Thank you. So
go ahead, get
the
your
point that's
monologue off
being
after this. I'm
made
talking
is
to
that
Issa.
this guy, you want to know why it's a quote unquote monologue? It could have been a dialogue, but he's refusing to engage. That's why it's a monologue. Because this guy Logic's refusing to engage. Now the host agrees that the topic that we were meant to engage on is nearly identical to what you guys were speaking about before I got here. So unfortunately, Logic does not want to engage with the topic that I presented, which is nearly identical to the topic that they were speaking about previously. So I'm going to have to present it one more time and let's see if he engages. Let's see. Now, in Acts 21, James and Paul both engage in the Nazirite vow, which consists of a sin offering according to Numbers 6. The Nazirite vow consists of a sin offering, and this was after the crucifixion. Now, according to Jesus, his crucifixion put an end to sin atonement. So if his crucifixion put an end to sin atonement, then why did the disciples continue to engage in sin sacrifice after Jesus Christ died and resurrected? Why did this happen? Why in number 6, it explicitly says that the Nazirite vow consists of a sin offering, and in Acts 21, Paul and the disciples engage in said sin offering. Logic, if Jesus' crucifixion consisted of sin atonement being put to an end by his flesh and his blood, according to you guys were talking about Luke previously, why did the disciples engage in sin offering after the crucifixion? Can you answer that question? Tell us now, Logic.
Yeah, and if he refuses to answer that question at the end of the day, wallahi billahi tallahi, that's a question that I ask Christians who bring this up every day. So if you don't want to answer
That's
that from,
beautiful, host.
if you don't want to answer that question from her, I'm going to end up asking you the same thing. So you might as well just answer it now.
Go ahead, Logic. Why were the disciples engaging in sin offering after the crucifixion? Tell us.
And mods, put in the chat, do I not ask Christians this question all the time? Mods, put in the chat. Go ahead.
Yo, where's this guy?
Every mod answer. I don't know. I don't know where he's at.
All right, is he going to answer the
All right.
question?
Now, to pick off where we left off, Issa, when
He's
you
not
brought
gonna-
up
He's not gonna
Hosea,
answer the
when you brought up
question.
Hosea,
Okay,
This
here.
guy's not gonna
I'll
answer the
respond to you about
question.
Hosea. I'll
I
respond to you
know.
about Hosea.
That's cool.
I'll respond
So
to you
am I
about
gonna-
Hosea.
There's no
but-
way
Am I allowed to
Logic
speak?
is running in 4K.
It's
Am I
okay,
allowed to
Cora.
speak?
Cora, don't go
No,
anywhere.
no,
Don't
no,
go
no.
anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Sister,
Host,
don't
Am I allowed
go
to
anywhere.
speak?
no, I'm not gonna lie, host. Wait, no, let him answer
am
this.
I allowed
Press
to
on this
speak?
point. Wait, host, let me press on this point.
No,
Logic,
Issa, am I
answer the
allowed
I'm
to
going to
question.
press him about that. I'm going to press him
Wait,
about
no,
that
it's
because I
okay.
ask the question all the time.
Logic,
Issa, am
just
I allowed
answer
to
the
speak to you?
question. Why were they engaging
Issa, am I allowed to speak to
in
you? Because there's
sin
somebody speaking over
offerings?
me for some reason.
Answer the question, Logic.
Yes,
Why
answer
were
the
they
question because
engaging
I'm
in sin
going to ask you the
offerings?
same thing.
Oh, all right, nice. So now to pick off where we left off, Issa,
Oh
since we're
my
continuing our
God! Wait,
conversation
bro,
like you
Issa,
said
I'm not
we
gonna lie.
would.
Just let him answer this
When you
question
brought
first, because he's gonna refuse.
when you brought up that there's no
This
problem.
guy is gonna refuse
When
to
you
answer
brought
the
up that
question if
there's
you
no
let him get
problem
away.
with Jesus being
Arisa,
identified
wait, hold
as
on,
the Son
Arisa,
of
wait,
God,
just let him answer
and
this
you brought
question.
up Hosea
Logic, why
as an
were the
argument.
disciples
Now
engaging in
notice
sin
this.
atonement?
Notice this, ladies and gentlemen. When the host,
Why
when the
were
Muslim
the
host told
disciples
me
engaging in
that
sin
after
offering?
Korah gives her monologue,
Why were the
and she's
disciples
begging for the
engaging in sin
attention,
offering?
Issa,
Look, dude.
you told me, you affirmed
Logic,
for me
why were the
that we
disciples
wouldn't have
engaging
our
in sin
conversation.
offering?
I
And
already
now
Why
you're
were
not
the
having the
disciples
conversation
engaging in
right
sin
now
offering?
without somebody to butt in here.
Avery,
This is weird.
Logic, why were the
This is weird.
disciples engaging
Avery.
in sin offering?
This is weird.
Avery, I think I know where you're going with this. Are you about to bring up Isaiah 53 or Isaiah 43 or anywhere
Oh, wait,
in
host,
between 40 and
let him
50?
answer this question, please, because
No,
he's gonna
that's not what I'm bringing up.
Because I'm going to
He's gonna-
preemptively
no,
answer
he-
his refutation to
Wait,
what I said
he's
before.
gonna
I came up.
I can't
he's
hear
gonna
you, Issa. You
refuse
got
as long
somebody
as you
talking
let
over you, bro.
he's gonna
What did you
refuse
say?
as long as you let him
Sister,
talk about this
sister,
other
watch
point.
this.
Issa, I can't hear you. Somebody's
Sister, watch
talking over
this,
you.
watch this,
He's
watch
gonna
this.
refuse.
I
He's
know,
literally
I know.
gonna
Watch
refuse to
this.
answer.
Watch this. Just be patient. Watch what
Issa,
I'm
I
about
can't
to
hear
do.
you, bro.
Okay, you can hear me now because she stopped talking. Cora, watch this. Watch what I'm
finally.
about to do. I think I know what he's about to bring up. If you're going to bring up anywhere in Isaiah that's not about Jesus, that's about Israel as a whole, that's about the suffering servant, which is identified as Israel multiple times. Now, can you please answer the question about
Perfect. Now answer the
Okay,
question.
so
Logic.
you didn't
Logic,
even
answer
engage with
it.
what I
Wait,
was
the
asking
host just told you to
It's-
answer the
you
question.
said
Can you listen to
said
the
that it's
host?
okay within Islam
Logic,
for
can you
Jesus
listen
to
to
be
the host and
identified
answer
as
my
the Son
question?
of God.
Yes, it
Pat,
is.
bro,
Yes,
we
it is
have this
okay.
guy in the
Yeah, just 1 second.
craziest corner
And
ever.
you based this theology
We have this guy in
on
the craziest
Old
corner ever.
Testament
Answer my
and
question,
the
Logic.
gospel, the New Testament, where
Chat.
Jesus is teaching that
Wait,
God
chat,
is his
we're gonna
Father,
need him to answer
on
this.
Moses
Logic,
teaching
why
that God
did
is
the
their Father,
disciples engage in
Malachi,
sin
Isaiah,
offering?
all of them teaching
Answer the
that they
question,
are
Logic.
children of God and that God is
Why
our Heavenly
did the
Father.
disciples
You said that this is
engage
okay for
in
you.
sin offering?
So my
Why
question
did the
is,
disciples
Issa,
engage
my
in
question
sin
is why
offering?
you're
Logic?
allowing the Muslim
Why
to talk
did
over
the
me on your live. You said that
disciples
you're being more
engage in
fair than
sin
the
offering?
other
He
host.
just told you to
The
answer
other
my
host allowed
question.
us to have a good conversation.
He just told you to answer the question.
You're not shutting this down.
So
but it's
answer
okay.
the wait. He just
Because
told you
there's
to
a
answer
parent
my
in the
question.
background
So
talking
answer
to
my question.
himself.
Why did the
So
disciples
when you
engage in
have
sin
a
offering?
pick me, when you have a pick
Why
me
did the
interrupting the conversation,
disciples
that's all
engage
good.
in sin offering?
When you said that
Why
you get get this
Hey, bro, if
theology
this guy's gonna
from
be
the
disrespectful,
Bible?
mute him.
So are you
Why
affirming?
did the
You gotta,
disciples
dude. You
engage
can't.
in
You can't.
Islam?
Just
You
really
gotta
quick,
stop with
Issa,
the name calling,
Why
bro.
did
You
the
have to stop
wait?
with
Just
that.
Are
mute
you
him, bro.
affirming,
Just
Issa,
mute him. He's being
that you
disrespectful.
get your akida
Just mute
about
him. He's getting
Allah
disrespectful.
from the Old Testament and the New
No,
Testament?
I'm not affirming
Host,
that.
can
No.
you mute this guy?
Now,
Real
can
quick?
Okay,
He's
so
being
then
answer
disrespectful,
the
bro.
question?
Okay, so then where do you get your theology from that Allah
Oh my
actually
goodness.
is
Can
a
this
father
guy
in some sense,
answer
and
the
there's no problem
question?
with that?
Dude, I already answered that question.
Bro, yo, wait, host,
you said
host,
the Bible.
don't let him run from the
I didn't
question
say
I'm
that.
asking him.
You
Yo,
did. You said
Arisa,
the Old
don't let
you
him
said
run
the Old
from the question
Testament
I'm
and the New
asking.
Testament.
No. What I said was is
Arisa,
that I don't
Arisa.
have a prop. I hear yes, sister. He's gonna answer the question, or he's gonna have to leave. But I'm gonna respond to this really quick, and then I'm because I was wallahi,
Alright,
I was gonna
perfect.
ask you the same thing. So I'm gonna respond to that, and then I'm gonna ask you a question, which is the same question she just asked. So I'm gonna respond to your
I
question.
don't
You
care
just
about her
asked
question.
me.
I care about the conversation you and I have.
Right, but if I
Yeah,
was
well,
gonna ask you that
he's gonna make
question,
you
then it
answer
doesn't
my
matter.
question, so you can cry about it.
Right. If I was, because you can ask any mod, you can ask anyone in this live who watches me consistently. I ask the same question that she asked you. I can send you
That's fine.
clips.
I
Wallahi,
don't mind.
and-
I don't mind you asking me that question later on in our conversation.
Okay,
Let's
so
deal
I'm
with
going
No,
to
the
but
respond
you're
to
gonna
you.
answer it when
So
he
I'm going to
asks you
respond
that.
to you. I'm going to respond to what you just asked me. Then I want you to reply to the question that she asked you because I was
I'm
going to
not
ask it to
replying
you.
to anything that
Perfect,
she
host.
asked
Thank
me
you, host. I
unless we deal
appreciate
with
it.
the topic.
No,
But
wait,
she
no,
didn't respond to my question.
wait, the
Dude,
host. Wait,
so
host,
what-
do you
what's
not
your
agree that
answer?
it's
Respond
on
to you.
topic?
I'm listening. You got
I'm going to
Corey talking
respond to
over me.
what
I
you
can't
just
hear
asked. I'm going to respond to what you just asked. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, like I said, you can ask anyone who watches my live consistently. The question she asked you is a question that I ask a lot. So I'm going to respond to what you said. And then I would please like for you to respond to that question because if
I'm
you
going
don't
to
answer it
respond to
for
what
her-
you say. I'm going to respond to what you say back.
Dude,
And then
okay.
you're gonna
'Cause this is what we were
respond to
talking
that, and
about.
then you're gonna respond to my question.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Okay,
We're having a
so well,
conversation.
you can say you're going to respond to what I say, but I'm not going to leave you any room to.
What do you mean?
You're not going to have anything to say.
Oh, okay. What you mean is you're going to basically shut down the point. Like I won't have nothing to respond.
Yeah, the point that you just made is
Okay.
not a good
Wait,
point.
hold
and I'm
on.
gonna tell-
Wait, host.
Okay,
Before
you
you
said,
guys
all right,
continue
so you said that you
can I
don't
get
get
the
your
answer to my
akida.
question, host?
You said that you don't get your akida from
He's
the
going to
Bible.
answer it. I'm going to make him
about
answer
Allah.
it. I'm going to make
Yes,
him
he
answer
said,
it.
Okay, and
you
make
said
sure-
you
because
don't
he's
get your
gonna refuse to
akida from
answer
the
it for me.
Bible.
I know,
But you
I'm
did
going to
say
make him answer it for me because
Issa,
he keeps
you
saying he
did
wants to
say
talk to me.
earlier that you derive that Allah is a father because the previous prophets taught it in the Old Testament and Jesus taught it in the New. That's what you
Wallahi,
said
that's
you
not
got
what
it
I said.
from.
Wallahi, that's not what I said.
Okay, so then where do you get your akida
Similar
that
wording.
Allah is the father of Jesus? And
We
and
don't
so
have,
on.
that's not a belief that we have in Islam. That's not something that we're required to accept. Don't interrupt me, please, bro. I'm answering your question. You wanted
You
answered
asked me
that you've
not to
been begging me to
interrupt
answer.
you.
So please don't interrupt me. Anyways,
I've been interrupted
this
this whole time, big dog. Come on.
is, you
man.
haven't been interrupted by me. Your conversation with her is your conversation with her. I haven't
I was
been
talking to
interrupting
you, and there was a little birdie just chopping, chirping,
Yo,
chirping while I
bro,
was
talk
talking.
this guy up if he's gonna be disrespectful.
There wasn't a
Listen,
single
bro.
word that I
Just
got out
listen.
If
without
this
respect.
guy's gonna be
You gotta stop
disrespectful,
being
just back him up.
disrespectful, or I'm gonna. I don't want to kick anyone. Please don't put me in a position where I have to. Anyways, I'm gonna answer your question now. You asked where we get it from that it's okay for Allah, that Allah's a father in some sense, or where we get this
The father of
from.
Jesus.
This is no, because we don't. I never said that we know for sure that Jesus called God or called Allah Father. I never said we know for sure that. I said it's historically plausible and it's not an issue for us. I never said that he definitely is a father in some sense. I said that if he called him that title in the past, that's not an issue for us because we've already demonstrated that his titles get abrogated in the Old Testament. That's not an issue. So again,
Right. Would you agree that titles of Allah is part of your akida?
titles of it depends on what you mean.
So, for example, Allah says in chapter 7, verse 180, he says that Allah has the most beautiful names. Call him by those.
Yep.
And avoid those who deviate from his names.
Okay, I understand your
Right?
question. Yeah, so the title itself, as in the word that's used, no, but the meaning of the word that's derived is a part of it. That's why it's okay for these titles to be abrogated when they become associated with idolatry. That's what happened with Father. That's what happened with Baal in the Old Testament. So no, the word itself, the sound that the word makes, is not necessarily associated with aqidah. The meaning that's derived
Really?
from the word is. That's why it's okay for these titles to be abrogated and a new title be brought up in its place that carries
So-
the same meaning.
I got you. So just,
wait, hold
so
on.
just,
Now,
so
now,
just to
now
be
can you
clear-
get the answer?
No,
Wait,
I'm
now
gonna
I need my
need to-
answer.
I'm going to respond to you because
Wait, no, now I need
you're
my
making
answer,
points that's
Logic.
actually helping me.
Logic,
We're having a
now I need
conversation,
my
bro. We're having a
answer.
discussion. We're having
Logic,
a
now I
discussion.
need my answer. Now can
So-
you answer
I
my
answered
question?
your question,
This
dude.
is
Wait, now can you
we're
answer
having
my
a
question, Logic?
discussion. Issa, you
Now,
told
wait, hold
me
on,
that
Logic.
you and I
Now,
will
can
have
you
a
answer my question?
conversation after she gave her
Oh
monologue. We're
my
having that
goodness. Can
conversation's
this guy
happening now.
not answer
I gave
simple
you. I answered your question,
said-
and then I
you
told
gave
you
me
that
a
I was going to
response.
pose the
It's
same
not-
question she
Oh
did to you.
my
And
goodness.
I'm engaging with what you said.
No,
So
you're
you
going to
said-
engage with the question
So you
now,
said,
as per the
you
host's
said that the
rules.
words themselves.
Oh my goodness.
You said that
Wait,
the
host,
words
did you not just
themselves
say that he's
that
gonna
are
have to
titles
answer
of
this
Allah
question now?
are not part
I
of
did,
your Aqidah?
because I
Okay,
want the same
so
question
answer the
answered.
question,
Is that correct?
Logic.
Is that correct?
The
that
host says
that
you need to
names
answer my
themselves,
question,
the
so
titles
answer my
of Allah
question.
is not part of Aqidah.
Answer the question, Logic.
See,
Why
he's
were the
putting words in my
disciples
mouth. That's
engaging?
not what
Wait,
I
hold on.
said.
Ignore. He's
I
trying
didn't
to
say that you
completely
said
and
that.
utterly
I'm
change the
asking for
topic.
clarification.
He's gonna have to
It
answer
sounds
the
like that's what you're
question.
teaching,
Look, I answered your question after she asked a question that you refused to answer because
I
you
don't
wanted
care
to ask
about
me
Quran, bro.
something.
We're
Okay,
having a
so yeah,
conversation,
but
you and
no,
me.
you are
She can
going to
ask
care because
herself.
the host wants you to answer the question.
She's talking
so
to herself. You and I
Is
are having
this
a
guy
conversation.
gonna answer
I'm
the
talking
question?
to you and I'm asking you the same question.
Why? So hold on, just to get this straight. So right now, what's going on is now you're going away from the conversation we were having.
Nope.
You promised you and I would finish.
Nope.
And you're jumping onto
Nope.
Korah's question. Is that what's
Nope.
happening?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
So
That's
then
not
let's
what's
continue
happening.
I got you, Issa.
It is part
so
of the
let's
conversation.
have the conversation.
Wait,
You
hold on.
promised we
No,
would
Arisa, I'm
continue.
not gonna lie. This guy just needs to answer the
So
question.
are the titles
in
of
the
Allah
nicest way
part of
possible,
Aqidah?
this guy's gonna have to answer the question now.
Are the titles of Allah
Let's
part
hear
of
an
Aqidah?
answer. Why were the disciples engaging in sin?
You can go ahead and answer that whenever you want, Issa.
Why were the disciples engaging in sin sacrifices?
Because we were initially talking about a crucifixion. We weren't talking about titles and things like this. This is
There we go. There we go.
Yes, we were.
What?
Because remember.
Wait, hold on.
No.
Wait,
Because
hold on.
you,
Wait,
host. Logic.
Issa, let me
You
reiterate it, bro.
diverted from the crucifixion topic when you heard me
I did
say
not.
that it's not an issue for that Jesus could have called Allah Father in the past before it was abrogated, and then you bit down on that, and then you wanted to divert from crucifixion and an atonement and go to that because you know we were
No.
talking about an atonement when she came up. You know we were. And you bit down on when you heard me say
okay,
that.
now
and you
Arisa,
thought-
I'm not gonna lie, Arisa,
Right.
this guy is
Can I
unless
respond to
you
you
press
without any
him for an
interruption, Issa?
answer. Wait, hold on, Arisa.
Issa, can I
you
respond to
press
what you
this
just said without any
You can
disrespectful guy
respond
for
to
an
the
answer?
question that we're both asking you to answer at this point, and
Yo.
then
Can I
we'll get
respond
back
to what
that.
you just said?
Yo,
Can I respond
host,
to what you
host,
just
You
said?
can
you
respond to-
bro, host.
You can
this guy is
respond
not
to the
gonna answer.
question that we've
Look at this,
both
too
been
good.
asking
He
you
said he
all
doesn't
night.
All right,
until
and
then
then
we'll
yeah,
get back to
Arisa,
that.
Arisa, I'm gonna need to speak
Okay.
because he's gonna refuse to
Issa,
answer.
what you said was,
Can
bro.
you- can you
remember,
answer the question,
Your prompt
Logic?
was, why
Arisa,
aren't
can
you
you
Muslim?
wait? Hold on, Arisa.
The
Can you
reason that
press
I
this
gave
guy
you
to answer the
was
question, please?
because
Because this
the
guy is
teaching of
absolutely running.
Jesus contradicted
Logic, why were the
teaching
disciples
of Muhammad.
engaging
Muhammad
in
contradicted
sin
the teaching
sacrifice?
of Jesus and the prior prophets.
No,
So
okay.
when,
Bro,
hold on,
Logic,
let me
why
finish.
were the
So
disciples
when we were
engaging in
talking
sin
about
sacrifice,
that,
Logic?
what I said was,
Oh
is that
my
Jesus
goodness,
taught
this
that he
guy
was the
is
Son of God.
I've been asking the same
sent
question
into
for
the world
20 minutes
to
and
give
he's
his
still
life as a
running.
ransom for the remission of
I've
sins.
been asking
To
this
give
guy
his
the
life as a
same
ransom
question
the
for
remission
20
of sin.
minutes.
I'm gonna have to mute you now because you're both talking.
So now I'm getting
Logic.
muted, ladies and gentlemen.
Logic, this because you want me to mute you. That's why you continue talking over us.
Oh,
You want me to mute you, so you.
Can this guy? But this guy can't answer
I'm
questions.
the only
dude.
one getting
This is
talked
getting
over
so
and you're
embarrassing.
muting me?
You're talking over both of us because I'm speaking to you.
How? Guys,
Because
this
I'm
Oh
asking
my
you to laugh
goodness.
if you want to. He's watch,
This guy is
he's
not
forcing me to
answering,
mute
dude.
him, and now he's gonna run. because
guys,
he's
you
forcing
can't
me to.
make this up on a Muslim
Oh
platform.
my goodness!
He's
You
What
got
an
one
embarrassing
pick,
Yes,
guy.
you can't make
This
it up that
guy
God
is
Logic, that every God
embarrassing
Logic the
himself.
third is sitting here.
And you got the
forcing me to
host
mute him.
lying about the conversation. He's also dodging now. And now
Oh
you're
my
muting me.
goodness!
one's
This
dodging.
guy
This
is
is embarrassing.
absolutely running.
one is
Bro,
dodging. You've been
dude, put this
disrespectful the
guy
whole
out of
This
his
is
misery,
embarrassing,
bro.
guys.
Bro,
Dude,
Arisa, just
hey,
put this guy
everybody,
out of
make
his
sure you
misery.
guys
He's
clip
trying to
this.
run, bro.
Clip
have to
the
stop.
Torah
Just put this
shuffling.
guy
You have to stop.
out of his
You're
misery
coming up
because he
here
can't answer the
like,
And
question.
clip the
you're being
whole
disrespectful.
shuffling. Clip both of them
This
shuffling.
guy
is
out of his
incredible.
No one
misery.
is shuffling. No
Hey,
one is shuffling.
one in the chat if we
Your
want the
wife is
answer to
shuffling
the
for a
question.
Pornhub audition. You're coming up here being disrespectful to my
That's all,
sister, and
that's
I
all
let it
good.
slide.
It's all good, Issa. You take care, man. You take
Yeah,
care.
you take care too. Have a good night.
Ah, what a dodge.
I knew it was going to happen. That's what he wanted me to do. That's why he came
Poor
up here and
guy,
continued to
poor
talk
guy.